welcome to the live. I hope I'm audible to all of you. Can I just get a thumbs up if I'm audible? Thanks, Ina. Thanks. Okay, great. Glad to know that I'm audible. Okay, we'll wait for a few more seconds so that we have few people joining us, and then we'll start. Great, I think it's 4 o'clock and we need to get started. Thanks for joining in for today's session. I'm Deepika Rathod, Chief Nutrition Officer, Head Nutritionist, Lifestyle Expert and Head of Gut Vertical from Luke's team. And today's topic is quite interesting, and I'm sure that many parents have joined us today for this live to know on how they can, improve their kids' gut health or to work on improving their kids' constipation that they might be facing. But we need to also understand that constipation nowadays is a major problem. It is not just affecting us as adults, but it is also affecting our kids, because we are actually not following what our parents or grandparents used to follow. Like as a kid, I don't remember that I ate out frequently. We used to go out only on occasions like, birthdays or anniversaries. But now we are taking our kids out on maybe every alternate day basis, or at least on a weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, most of the people and the kids are eating out. And when we eat out, we don't have a control over what we are eating. So we load our body with more of fats, processed food, junk. There is maida, there is refined sugar, there is fried stuff going in our body, and all of these things can somewhere become heavy on the digestion, particularly for a kid, because their stomach is just developing. It is developing to digest certain food. It is developing to take care of the constipation, take care of the bloating, take care of the gut issues, and that's where they start facing constipation issue. So constipation, as I said, is a emerging issue. Not just adult, but kids are also facing it nowadays, and that's why we have to work on improving it. Because when you are constipated, that means you're holding on to toxins. So imagine a kid holding on to toxins in their body. It is definitely going to create more issues in them. Sometimes the toxins come out through different eliminatory organs. So we have 5 eliminatory organs in our body. There is colon, there is liver, there's lung, there's kidney, there's skin being the largest eliminatory organ. We see that our kids also start getting these rashes or boils which are like pus filled. Sometimes it breaks and they are in pain. So the toxins are just trying to come out from any channel of the body to make them feel better, basically. And let's straight talk about constipation. So when I say constipation in a kid, that may not mean that your kid is not passing a motion for 4-5 days altogether. It can also mean that maybe your kid is passing very little infrequent stool, which is very hard. It's very hard for them to pass it easily. They have to put more pressure, they have to strain, and the stools are dry as well. Sometimes it could be due to lack of water, because most of the kids nowadays, we have to just run behind them that you have to drink water, you have to finish your water. And if they are not drinking water, definitely the stools get harder and harder. Then when you talk about constipation, there are different symptoms that your kids might show. Not just not passing motion for 2-3 days, which is really one criteria. So when you say constipated, that means a person is not able to pass proper motion more than 3 times a week. So if you're not passing motion more than 3 times a week, that means you are constipated. There can be pain because the stools are getting harder. So there can be pain while passing the motion, because we have to put more pressure when the hard stools get stuck. We have to remove it. That's why we put pressure, and kids can't even put that much of pressure. So when they try to put pressure, the hard stool is irritating their rectal lining. It is irritating the anus, and that's where you might see sometimes blood coming out in the motion, on the surface of the motion. So that could be one of the symptoms that your kid is constipated. Constant stomach pain. I know many of you parents might have noticed that my kid is eating well, sleeping fine, doing all kind of activities, playing sports, everything, but still keeps on complaining about stomach pain, then you have to be observant, like, whether your kid is passing proper motion on a day-to-day basis or not. There could be traces of liquid or pasty stool in the in their underwears as well. So this will also give you a fair idea. If your kid is soiling their underwear, that means somewhere they are not able to clean their stomach properly when they are visiting the loo. So these are certain symptoms that you can look out for when you look out for constipation in your kid. Now, as I said, there could be various causes for constipation. It could be frequent outside meal. There could be, too much of oily food, because when we have oily food, it also affects the gastric emptying. And when the gastric emptying is affected, the stool or the motion stays in the colon for a longer period, where it starts leaching out water and the stool becomes harder and harder. So this can also lead to constipation, lack of water, lack of activity, not eating meals on time, eating too less meal, or eating too large quantity of meal. All of these things can also affect a kid when it comes to constipation. Now let's look at certain tips that you can incorporate in your kids' routine to make sure that they are having a proper motion on a daily basis, and secondly, their gut starts getting better and healing gradually. So to start with, as I said, if the kid is not eating properly, that could also be a reason why they are facing constipation. So you have to make sure that you make your kid chew the food properly. We as a parent, I've seen many clients coming to me, they eat their food so fast, like they finish their food in just 5 minutes and they are done. And this is not the way to eat your food. If you're eating it so fast, definitely your kids will take it up from you. They will also start eating the food fast. And if they're eating the food fast, they're not chewing the food properly, the larger food particle will go as it is in the stomach. It will irritate the stomach lining and it will stay there in the colon, which will then impact the motion quality as well. Like, you'll not be able to pass a proper motion, or your kid will not be able to pass a proper motion, and this will lead to constipation. So they have to sit down, chew their food properly. Sitting on the floor is the best way to eat meal. But if you can't sit on the floor, or if your kids can't sit on the floor, they can even sit comfortably on a dining table and chew the food properly. When you chew the food properly, the digestive enzymes from the mouth salivary amylase basically starts working on the food. It breaks it down properly, and the digestion starts from the mouth itself. So the moment it reaches the stomach, most of the food is slowly getting started to digest it. So slowly the constipation and other issues will also get under control. Now, changing this habit will be a tough task, and you should be a role model for your kid. So make sure that you sit with them, chew your food properly, take around 20-25 minutes, and when your kids look at you sitting down, enjoying the meal, chewing it properly, they will also start doing the same, and this will help them in changing the lifestyle at a very early age, rather than taking it long and then facing more consequences of these bad lifestyle. So this was one tip. Second is, I have seen most of the kids don't drink water, because they are so occupied with studies, they are so occupied with playing, they are so occupied with watching cartoons or maybe playing around and all. So they tend to miss drinking their water, and we as a parent need to always remind them, drink water, drink water. What you can also do is, try and bring some fancy bottles, or keep steel sippers at home, or maybe a steel straw as well. For my daughter, she's just 7-year-old and she doesn't drink water at all. So I literally have to be behind her that you have to finish your water. This is your target and this is your bottle. You have to finish it till the day ends. And this is how you can even challenge your kids. Ask them to finish a certain amount of water till say 12 p.m, then 6 p.m, and post 6 p.m. try and reduce the water intake so that they don't wake up from their sleep frequently to pass urination. The steel straw really works wonders for my daughter particularly, because I give her a glass full of water and then I give her a straw, and she just enjoys sipping her water with the help of the straw. So you can also do something like this. You get fancy straws nowadays, so you can use any of those straws. Ask your kids to sip through it, and they will enjoy doing or sipping water basically. If you feel that your kid don't like plain water, then you can definitely try and add certain flavors to the water. Maybe squeezing some lemon, 3-4 drops, then adding half a teaspoon of jaggery to the same, or making fennel water. In Gujaratis they say variali water. So something of that sort can also be made to make sure that your kids are drinking more water. Coconut water is one of the best thing that you can ask your kid to drink to add hydration. But yes, nothing will work as how a water will work for your body or for your kids' body. So try and make sure that you're increasing the water intake for your kids to add hydration to the body. Because as I said, your stool stays in the colon for a longer duration and then it starts leaching out water. So if your kid is not drinking enough amount of water, the stools are already hard, and if it stays in the colon, the water is leached out, the stools become even harder and harder and harder, and this can irritate the colon, irritate the rectal, irritate the anus. The dry stool will create more issues when they are putting pressure for passing the motion. So hydration is the second tip that I would like to give you all for the kids. Third is, I've seen many parents, for us, like for kids who are coming to us, I've seen their parents are actually giving them tab. They're giving them mobile phones, or they put some cartoon or put some movies for them, and then they make their kids eat food. But this is not the right way, because our mind can focus on only one work at a time. So if you're giving the food with a distraction, you might be noticing that your kids are mostly looking at the film or the cartoon or things that you have provided to them rather than eating actually. That's where they jump, hop, skip, move around in the house, and then they eat. So this is not the correct way of eating. You should always sit with them, maybe have a chat when they are eating the food. So this helps them in just focusing on the food part. When they are eating with complete mindfulness, the food will be utilized properly in the body, and this will not lead to any kind of constipation or digestion issues. Distraction means the mind is just in movie or just in cartoon and they are not at all focused on the food. So let's avoid any kind of distraction when your kid is eating the food next time. Apart from that, it's very important to set a proper potty routine or poop routine for your kid. I know it may sound funny, but make sure that you ask your kid to go to the washroom at a certain period of time. Mostly morning, because that's the preferable time. So first thing when they wake up, you can ask them to sit on the pot for some time and see if they are getting the pressure to ease out the motion. But going for first thing in the morning, or going in the morning actually is good, because then you're eliminating all the toxins out of the body and you feel more productive throughout the day. So set a proper routine for your kids for pooping, and they should definitely feel better, because ultimately when your body clock kicks in, your body clock will take over. Then you don't have to remind them, oh, you have to go and pee, or you have to go and use the loo for pooping and all. Then their body clock will start kicking in. They will get that peristaltic movement at that same time on a daily basis, and they will pass a proper motion. So this is the fourth thing that you can do. Now, one very easy remedy that I suggest to my kid clients who come to me with constipation issue is soaked fig. So what you can do is soak 2 figs in water for 3 to 4 hours, and then you can just roast these soaked figs in 1 teaspoon of ghee till they swell a little bit. So it might not take more than 1 minute or so. And then you ask your kid to chew this ghee soaked figs at night after finishing the dinner part. So half an hour after dinner, ask them to chew it properly, chew it really well, really mindfully, because the fiber from soaked figs actually work on improving the constipation or easing out the constipation the very next day. So they have to chew the soaked figs properly, and then after like 15-20 minutes they can drink half a cup of warm water. So this will help in complete clearance of the motion the very next day. The soaked fig remedy you can do for 10 days to 15 days, because kids can easily digest figs. It is good for energy as well, and it will not affect their sugar levels at all because they are so highly active. So you can definitely try and perform this remedy for like 10 to 15 days, and if the constipation is getting better, then you can stop it, because ultimately once the constipation gets better, we want the kids to pass motion on a daily basis on their own without being dependent on any kind of laxatives. Now if it is for a elder, we can definitely suggest malva nut, triphala and all, but these are kind of heat producing herbs in the body, which we can't really give to kids. So that's why doing easy things like a soaked fig with ghee will be beneficial for your kid. It will also provide a good amount of iron, and as I said, it will work on improving their energy levels as well. So try that for 10 to 15 days if your kid is really constipated. More than that, change their food plate. Try and add more rainbow, more color to their food. I have seen that most of the kids don't like eating salad, but try and make the salad in a way that it becomes attractive for them. So cut designs or add more colors to the plate. So take take carrot, orange color from carrot, take capsicum, take onions, beetroot, all of these colors, and make like a colorful salad and give them. So when they have good amount of fiber can be given from fruits as well, but don't mix fruits with cooked meal, because that can again lead to bloating and indigestion. So you can give fruits separately and you can give salads separately with the meal basically. So when you add these kind of fiber in their food, it will help in bulking up the stool. When the stool gets bulk, that's when it is easier for them to pass the motion rather than being constipated. So try and add rainbow in their plate. That should be definitely helpful in improving their constipation slowly and gradually. Apart from that, I've seen most of our clients now moving towards yogasana, because it really helps in bringing that equilibrium in body, and I've seen many kids also doing it. It's really good for kids because their body is so flexible and they can learn different asanas easily. So if you feel that your kid can do yogasana, then try and get them into your yoga routine. They can follow different pranayamas like Brahmari is really good for improving the vagus nerve stimulation in the body. So it connects the gut and the brain together. So if the vagus nerve is stimulated properly, there will be proper peristaltic movement, there will be proper emptying of the stomach, and the gut health will be in check. So Brahmari pranayama can be followed properly, and they can even follow Malasana under a guidance. Malasana is nothing but seating position, like how we sit or do squat on a Indian toilet. So that helps in opening up the pelvic area completely. It opens up the anus, which also reduces any kind of discomfort while passing the motion. So this helps. This pose particularly helps in easing out the constipation. So you can definitely, make your kid learn all of these asanas under guidance so that they feel better and the constipation will ease out. Apart from that, moving around frequently becomes very, very important. If your kid is sedentary, because nowadays kids should actually not be sedentary. They are made to, jump from here and there or be more active. But because we give them the phone in their hand or a tab in their hand, they sit at one place and they just keep watching it all day long without even moving. And if there is no movement, there will be no blood circulation, and if there is no blood circulation, the body will not be able to have a proper detoxification process in place, and passing motion is one of the detoxification process itself. So that's why make sure that your kids are active enough throughout the day. They are going out and playing all the outdoor games, and if they are in, they play the indoor games rather than being stuck to the mobile phones. So that will be beneficial. So staying active, adding yogasana, all of these things will work on improving their overall blood circulation and controlling the constipation issues. So that's it about it. You can try and follow these certain tips that I mentioned about improving the constipation for kids. So figs would be the most easiest remedy that anyone can do for their kids, and kids love sweet, so they will just enjoy having figs at night. So let me just see if I have any queries related to this particular topic. Figs to be soaked should be dry or fresh. The figs that you'll be using will be a dried fig. So the dried fig, you have to soak it for 3 to 4 hours, and then you just remove the fig from the water and roast it in 1 teaspoon of ghee for like just a minute, till the time it swells and soaks all the ghee. So that should be good enough. Prunes. Okay, yes, prunes are also fine. So you either use prunes or you can use figs. 2 figs or 2 prunes, don't take both the things together. So it's either or. Okay, so 2 prunes are also completely fine. If the kid is not eliminating poop properly and soiling, if the kid is not eliminating poop properly and soiling the clothes, that means there is constipation issue or gut related issue. Please check with a healthcare provider as well on if this is happening on a daily basis, because ultimately we need to know or get to the root cause on why the kid is doing so on a daily basis. So getting a help will be really good, and then we can move towards the root cause or improving the issues that the kid is facing. Okay, my daughter does not empty her tummy when she poops, hence soils her underwear. So you can definitely try and give her the figs or prunes remedy. That should definitely be helpful in clearing out the motion completely when she goes in the bathroom. So the soiling of the underwear will definitely be in control. Okay, I think we don't have many queries, but in case you all have any queries regarding this topic, you can just post it on our page and we'll be happy to assist you. Great guys, take care and have a good evening ahead.